I haven't had dark hair for quite a few videos at this point, too many in a row. Now I don't know if I even like it on me. Look at that. Changes. Hey. Hi, everyone. It's Kendall here. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're not new around here, what is up, home skillet biscuit? And happy Saturday. If you don't know what Saturday is when I do a little something on this channel called Bad Movies in a Beat, the series on my channel where I talk about bad movies while putting my makeup on. Before we get today's video started, by the time that you see this video, I will have officially started my own podcast. I now have a podcast called In Defense Of that's brought to you by More Butter, a media production company that I'm doing alongside some other awesome YouTubers, Mr. Gigi as well as Amanda the Jedi. My show, In Defense Of, I am a judge and jury. And I just talk about movies and decide whether or not they deserve to get really low rankings or whether or not they deserve to bomb at the box office.
You are about to enter the courtroom of the Honorable Judge KennieJD. Does she have any movie critic experience? No. Does she have any authority? No. But they gave her a show anyways.
I am the judge here, after all. You hear that? They gave me a gavel. Oh, they shouldn't have gave me a gavel. By the time this goes up, episode 1 should be up. I was really nervous in it. I was like, oh. It's probably going to be really obvious, but I was so nervous in it. I do better in episode 2, just put that out. So if you would like to subscribe to that channel, More Butter, I will link that down below. It's also available on Spotify. And of course, the second order of business is bills. You want to hear a story of how I went to get my windshield wipers fixed and somehow now have to pay them $800? Because at first I'm like, y'all just trying to milk me for money. But then it's like, Kendall, have you ever gone to the mechanic ever? They might be onto something. Anyway, I say all that to say, please look at our sponsor and support it if you want to. Thank you. Hi, it's Ad Roll Kenny to let you know that today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit delivery service that allows you to have delicious, healthy, and quickly made meals made straight from the comfort of your own home. You can choose how often you want it to be delivered, whether it be weekly or every other week or what have you, with ingredients that are fresh, pre-portioned, and curated so that everything can be made in about 30 minutes. A lot of times even less than that. This week we did the one that I go to when I'm very lazy, like even lazier than usual, because I know it like the back of my hand. I can get it done in about 15 minutes on a good day. And that is the pork bowls. It comes with rice, but I decided this time I switched it up a little bit and put it on top of some fire noodles, some ramen. The sweetness in the fire noodles, they just come together and it comes alive. And I put some cheese on it. You're not supposed to. So good. But of course, if you make it the original way with rice, it's delicious as well. I cannot explain how much stress is taken off of me by HelloFresh because ever since I moved into my new apartment, it's actually very difficult to get groceries delivered here or food delivered here. So everything I have to go out and go get. And groceries shopping sucks. That 3 meals, well, for me, 6 because I eat both of them, out of the week, I don't have to go anywhere. I'm treated like a princess. They send the food to my front door. I love it. Feel free to customize your box, customize when it comes, what days it comes, what weeks you want to skip if you want to. Feel free to add pre-cooked proteins or sides or desserts, whatever you're into. It's a great way to become just a better cook in general, as well as get yourself out of those recipe ruts when you do the same thing all the time. It's like very annoying. Feel free to check out HelloFresh with the link down below. That's HelloFresh.com and use code Kennie16 for 16 free meals plus 3 surprise gifts. Big thanks again to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get on to the debauchery, baby. So last week we talked about Tall Girl 2, and I had some opinions as a tall woman. I always have opinions, but I like to use my height as an excuse this time. If you guys aren't aware, Tall Girl 1 was my first Bad Movies in a Beat almost 3 years ago now, so it was very full circle. I don't want to spoil it, so if you want to check that out, that'll be linked up above, or you can check it out in the Bad Movies in a Beat playlist. Side note, one of the biggest hate comments, if you could even call it that, a critique I guess that I get, is that I take too long to get to movie recaps. But I'm like, babe, we're here for an experience. If you just want to hear about the movie, there's a timestamp. Sexy people listen to the whole video, okay? Even sexier people listen through the ads. This week we're doing a first because this is not a movie that was requested by the Biscuits. This was actually requested by the producer of the film. A few weeks or maybe a month or so ago, I got an email that shook me to my core, completely confused me. It was the producer of a movie on Tubi that said, hey, can you watch it? Can you review it for us? And I sat there like 5 minutes just rereading it over and over and over again. And I'm like, you do know like what videos I make, right? And I figured theoretically, yeah, he must. He's emailing me about it, but I do also know that artists can be quite delusional. Like, oh, well, if you look at my film, you'll think it's amazing. So I just had to make sure. So I said to him, like, hey, if I'm talking about the film, I'm gonna be honest, right? You understand that, right? And knowing that, he said, yes, of course. We would want nothing but that from you. Humiliation king. Got it. And so that brings us to today's video, where we're going to talk about the film Tina and Lori, 2021. Tina and Lori is a modern day Detroit-based Thelma and Louise. The story revolves around two high school seniors named Tina and Lori who end up on a road trip of sorts to escape a murder charge after killing Tina's abusive father. Now, I know you're sitting there thinking like, wow, that sounds like, a movie, like something with a storyline. Nope. This movie is bad in my least favorite way a movie can be bad, in the sense that it's bad because it's just uninteresting. I'm bored. Like, you'd think with a synopsis like that, it would be an interesting movie. It seems like there's enough to cause drama and there's enough to like keep you hooked. But no, this movie really should have just stayed an email. There were like these incredibly long bouts of time where I didn't have anything to say because nothing was happening, and I hate when that happens. I shouldn't be able to watch a movie and write notes at the same time. But the only time I can do that is when nothing's happening, so I'm not missing nothing while I write something down. That's a problem. And you know what's even sadder? It's like it's Tubi. Tubi is a lot of things, but rarely boring, okay? So if you made boring out of Tubi material, I'm just disappointed. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Like, how is it possible to make a boring, low-budget black movie on Tubi? To be honest with you, it doesn't even really feel like a movie. It's like a C-level vlog. That's an hour and 55 minutes. But alas, because I've already watched it, and if I had to do it, then somebody's gonna have to watch this shit. And you asked for it, Mr. Sir. I forget what your name is. Dewan? This is for you, Dewan. Here you go. This is Tina and Lori, 2021. As we should have come to expect at this point from low-budget black films, the movie begins with a very loud musical intro. Just make sure that you can throw that ass back. Low-budget black film, especially from Tubi, always feels like a favor to a cousin who's trying to get a mixtape out, because the music is always so loud and so distracting. But this one is even louder than the average. We'll talk about this later in other scenes, but there's scenes where you can't hear shit anybody saying because you have to hear this song for some reason. This movie feels like a money laundering scheme. There's many elements about this movie that feels like, oh, I turned it in at 11:59, and it's hilarious, but it's also like so distracting, and it's usually during like important elements of conversation, so we don't know what the fuck is happening. In the opening scene, we are in a high school literature class, and they're discussing romance as a genre. I just realized I was about to go into a very detailed retelling of what they talk about in this class, but I just realized it does not matter. It never comes up again at all. So I'm gonna skip it. I need to figure out something for when I skip things, because I'm gonna be skipping a lot in this movie. Do I like edit a cat or something to keep it interesting? We also realize that their high school is a trap house. Even Cass wouldn't give you a floor. That's hilarious. We do find out that Lori and one of the boys in the class, they have a history. They used to date sophomore year and now they're seniors. I don't know his name. I'm gonna call him Jabari because he kind of looked like Maya's husband in Girlfriends. I care for Jafifi. But that night there is going to be a party at one of their classmates' houses. And apparently Tina, the other titular character, is actually going to be able to go, which apparently is a rarity. Apparently her father is incredibly strict and doesn't let her leave the house ever, really. But she has a plan on escaping out of the house by drugging him. I know. I was like, oh, damn, where are we going? It probably didn't help that I didn't read the synopsis before watching it. I just went in blind, but Jesus, I was like, damn, she gonna kill him to go to a party? Seems like a lot. Now, Lori has a boyfriend who's a little older, and he's completely pointless except for she gonna steal his gun. Again, hold on. Kendall, where are you taking it? Out of my mouth sounds way more interesting than what you actually want to screen. Like, it had all the raw parts to be an interesting movie, but it wasn't. But she's still his gun. Why? I don't really know. If they do explain it, I couldn't hear it because the music's so fucking loud. Anyway, back to Tina and her dad. She ends up putting the sleeping pills in his food that she prepares for him every night. We learn a bit about how abusive he is, and more particularly how oppressive he is towards her, pursuing education after high school graduation. She has aspirations to go to some place called EDU, referencing it as if it's a real place. It's not. Again, as a Michigan native, as a Detroit native, it's not. But I was sitting there like, what a horrible acronym for a college. Where are you getting your degree from? Education? Like, that sounds like a fake ass place. Apparently it stands for Eastern Detroit University, which is not a thing. It does not exist. But she's like, yeah, I want to go away to education college. I want to go to the University of Education. And her dad is like, no, you will be going to the place that's down the street because you have to be here to take care of my ass because your mama dead. She died in a car accident. So my grown ass man self needs someone to take care of me. You gonna go to school down the street so that you can do that. But this is the final straw for Tina. She's like, I am out of here. I am going. She goes into her room. She gets all of her important documents, like her social security card and her birth certificate. She's like, that's the final straw. I'm out of here. Like, when she makes her way to this party, she's never coming back. Excited to begin her new life as a independent woman, Tina and Lori head to the party. On the way there, that's when we find out that Lori has this gun. And seemingly, considering we're just seeing her randomly have a gun, we don't see her steal it, by the way. So she just brings out a gun on the ride to the party. This seemingly would be like an important conversation, right? Because explaining why you have this gun. Nope. They think that the more important thing for us as an audience to do is to hear distinctively what terrible music is playing. Do we need to know why she's holding this gun? The reason? How she got it? Nope. We need to hear if you happy and you know it, clap that ass. Priorities. Thank you. Once they get there, there's a bunch of like terrible subplots that don't get flushed out at all. There's like bullies. There's the bougie girl, the dude that eat booty. All you need to know is that they play Coochie Man.
How are you doing today? I'm the Coochie Man.
For no plot device, just to know that someone's playing terrible Detroit music. I assume he's from Detroit. It sounds like he's from Detroit. So Coochie Man. Jabari tells Lori that he, will always be there for her even though they stopped dating 2 years ago, and how he doesn't understand how they broke up and what went wrong with them, but he's always there for her. And Tina goes to hook up with the dude that eat booty. Tina and the dude smoke some weed that I don't know nothing about. Like, to me, I was like, are they doing meth? No, they're doing like a concentrate apparently. I looked it up because I was like, y'all doing crack? I'm not a smoker. That's not my strong suit. I've smoked a handful of times, and every time was either uneventful or awful. It's never been like a good time. So I just don't do it. It's not my thing. It's not my scene. That's fine. Just save me money because y'all be spending bank at the distillery. Y'all can keep that. Eventually, mid hookup, Tina's dad breaks up the party. Apparently, he had woken up early because she didn't give him enough of the sleeping pills or something. So he's there enraged that she left out the house unannounced. So when Lori comes to tell Tina that her dad is breaking up the party, she's like, no, I don't believe it. He's definitely asleep. She's just trying to make sure that we don't go too far. And during the course of that conversation, the guy tries to SA her, but lo and behold, old girl got a gun. I guess good call. I don't know. And this is just like an awful scene, but the acting is so distractingly bad that it takes away whatever seriousness we were supposed to feel.
We just having a little bit of fun. Fun? Let's just have a fucking fun.
But that guy gets away and the dad comes in, and for some reason the scene goes black and white. I don't know. It's the only scene that does this. Artistic girl. But Tina and her father start arguing, in the course of which we find out that he has actually been also SAing her. There's a lot of it. Just comes up as like a default drama device, which is but it comes out that he's been doing that since Tina's mom has passed. They go back and forth. He screams that she should have died in the car accident with the mom. There's a tussle, at the end of which Lori shoots the father with that gun that, again, she so conveniently had. And we kind of like, damn, you know, her daddy just died. Does she feel bad about it at all? Does she have any complicated feelings? No. Fair enough. He was terrible. But she's like, ooh, I am not about to cry. Just help me move this his body. So they move in his body and realize, oh, he too heavy. Oh no, let's just put a cover over him and just run. That's not at all conspicuous at all. What's done is done. That did anyway. So now commences them being on the run. They eventually devise a plan to drive all the way down to Florida from Michigan to go to Lori's aunt's house because apparently she be into that fraud shit. Very convenient. So she'll be able to get them IDs, documents, so that they can take all of those, escape to Jamaica, so that they can live out a new free life elsewhere and not even deal with the charges. They decide to spend the night at a hotel in order to, you know, plan out their escape, during which we learn more about the abuse that Tina suffered at the hands of her father. Lori's like, yo, I'm sorry I killed your daddy. And she's like, I am not. That nigga sucked. Ooh, this is pretty. I like it. But yeah, she like, I don't care that nigga dead. Him. But the problem is now that he's dead and we murdered him and we're on the run, I can't go to school and he's ruining my life from his dead deceased grave. The next morning, I suppose, no one ever turns lights off in this movie. Like, your electric bill must be crazy. The next morning, they hear of the murder on the news and they're like, yo, we on the run. They know it's us. It's pretty obvious. I mean, come on. He went there to find his daughter. He goes in the room with his daughter. He winds up dead. Somebody in relation to his daughter killed him. Lori's mom has already been contacted by the police and she seems not at all surprised that she murdered a man, possibly murdered a man. She's just like, well, she's a troublemaker. I'm like, ooh. I mean, granted, she is the type to just take a random gun from somebody's house, so. Also, the dude that plays the cop is the guy that played the like 32-year-old grandfather in that other Detroit 2B classic. He played me. I'll link that up above or somewhere too. I am the plug. All right. If you want to see a shit movie, I have probably seen it or will do so very soon. Anyway, the cop calls them and is like, hey, you guys should turn yourself in. We have a lot of evidence that it's you guys. And they like, nah. And so the rest of the movie is largely just like the mundane logistics of trying to get to Florida. They get a call from the guy whose gun it was that they took. Apparently he's like, yo, hella people been killed with that gun. You should really throw it away. Like you should really, or I guess not, you shouldn't keep it. But they do. We watch them get gas, buy snacks and sunglasses. Again, it's like a really shitty edited vlog. The vlogger girlies eat them up. A black and white slide to show drama. How dare you? I'm just in here like, damn, can I get an aesthetic voiceover or something? Shit. They eventually make their way over to Ohio where they're pulled over by a police officer who sees them swerving because Lori thought it was a great idea to dance at the wheel. This, as you'd imagine, causes them to go into a panic because the moment that they run their plates, they'll realize that they're both wanted for murder in Michigan. So what do? Tina sticks up the police officer. Then, in a way that was so stupid that you thought it would have to relate to like character folly, like this will be her downfall, but no, it was just stupid. She tells the police at gunpoint why they're on the run, which is for murder, and that they had to do this because if he ran their plates, he would find that out. I hate a dumb criminal. Like, if you're gonna do this shit, at least do like some cyber security, do some like Death Note, light Yagami bullshit. Plan it out. Be creative. Be smart. If you can't write a genius anime, you have no business doing crime. Side note, completely unplanned. Don't look at my sagging titties. I don't have a bra on. Shinigami shit, bitch. Girls don't like me because I watch anime. No, girls don't like you because you don't shower. Anyway, they handcuff the police and they're able to make their getaway in the same car that already was having their license plate ran. Spoiler, while they're in Kentucky, the car gets found by police. In order to get away, they sneak out of a hotel that they were in and were able to rob someone of their very loud convertible in the same parking lot. In the chaos of the escape, apparently Tina loses her wallet. So there goes all of the little money that they had anyway. So Lori calls Jabari, an 18-year-old in Detroit, to fly down to Kentucky, and he gives her $2,000 because if he want to, he will, I guess. I ain't met one that want to. I'm really finally at the place in my life where I feel like I am too pretty to pay my own rent. Where's my Splenda father? Where's my sugar daddy at? Look, I'm not hating on anybody to get their bills paid by a man. I'm trying to figure out logistics. What do? Do you have a script? Let the girls know. During this time, they have closure. They figure out why they broke up 2 years ago. Basically, some more traumatic stuff that we don't really need to go into, and they say their goodbyes because they're back on the run. The next day, Tina very quietly robs a gas station. Girl, keep up. And eventually they're finally able to get down to Florida and meet that aunt that Lori was going on about. Side note, whoever plays the aunt is the only person in this entire cast that looked like she ever acted any other time than just right now. Girl, you were too good for this. You should definitely be on something else. You should at least be in something Tyler Perry adjacent. Lori and the aunt talk, and she essentially says, hey, you have two options. I have a friend who's a very good lawyer who can probably get you off on self-defense, or you can live the rest of your life afraid that you're gonna get caught living on eggshells. Eventually, she's able to convince Lori that the better option is to turn herself in. She asks, what about Tina? And she says incredibly casually, she'll get over it, girl. And so Lori talks to Tina and she's like, hey, let's turn ourselves in. We'll probably not even get that much time and we can just live our lives free after that. Which, hey, I wish I could live in delusion where I can murder a guy and threaten a cop with a gun and rob a gas station and get no time out of that. This is that thinking you get from Neverland. She don't believe in Neverland. I love that I can say that joke and there is a sizable amount of people that actually get where that comes from. That's so great. See, when you're a biscuit, you get inside jokes. But she's like, yo, we've come this far. Let's keep running. I'm not going to prison. I've lived my entire life under my dad, who was basically a warden. I'm about to be free and live my damn life. Did the dimensions just change mid-frame? What? Who edited this? Did they edit this on a shoebox? There's a lot of back and forth, but basically, the 34-year-old grandfather from Detroit has a soft spot for these girls for some reason. They don't really explain why, other than he thinks they're smart and have a lot going for them, and something vaguely about how they remind him of his sister or daughter or somebody. He has a attachment to them for some reason. Let me drive my ass from Detroit down to Florida to convince the girls to come back to Michigan. And in the course of doing that, he finds out that local authorities think of them as armed and dangerous and they're gonna take them in by force. He's like, no, let me hurry up and get to them. And then Tina gets shot by a sniper. What? Wait, what? What? I am I've apologized a lot in this series. I'm learning. That was hilarious. I'm so sorry. Because there was no lead up. Where the snipers come from? And then, right when you accept that, and then it hits you with another punch on the other cheek because you like, guess what? It was all a dream. Well, more specifically, it was a paper, an assignment for Lori, who wanted to go into creative writing. And this whole story was for that literature class. Then Lori and Tina actually meet in real life. In real life, Tina's name is Thelma. Oh, I get it, like Thelma and Lori, Thelma and her. And she already goes to EDU and they become fast friends. And that's the end of the movie. 1 hour and 55. Well, I watched it twice, so 4 hours. I will never get back. So there you have it, Dwan. That'd be funny if that's not even his name. I haven't double checked. Dwan. Dejuan, you're welcome. As always, being that this is a free to watch movie on Tubi, I will link it down below. If anyone else has any movie recommendations that you would like me to check out, feel free to put it down in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media, Instagram and Twitter, both of which are KennieJD. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.